And Raelynn is here from Central Valley Electric Cooperative. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got the Beyond the Wire.
Yes.
And I was reading through, and we talked a little bit about Electrical Safety Month.
We did.
But I saw this little article on the front about the planting of the trees near the power lines. I bet a lot of people don't even think about that.
They don't.
This time of year.
They don't realize how tall the tree is going to get when it matures and what problems it can cause if they plant it too closely to the power lines. So, and with planting trees, it's always a good thing to call 811 before you do any kind of a digging project. And we've got a gentleman, his name's Mario. He goes out and he will locate any underground potential electrical lines, and I know there's other utilities that go out and mark those lines as well. So that's always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Better be safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, if you're putting in a sprinkler system,
yes,
call 811.
Yes.
If you're getting ready to plant a tree, call 811.
Even if you're just putting, building a fence and you're having to put in like corner posts and things like that, it's always a good thing to know where those power lines are.
Yeah. We got tickled when we put the sprinkler system in. We called 811, and we live in the city, so it wasn't CVE, it was XL. But they all came out and they marked their lines from the alley to the house. The electrical, gas, all of them got marked. The city marked the water lines in the alley.
Not going to the house.
Not going to the house.
Oh.
And I said, we're not putting a sprinkler system in the alley. But apparently, when people do add things like sprinkler systems and stuff like that, that doesn't get reported back to the city, and so it's not real easy for them to be able to mark all of the lines within a yard that are water lines and stuff like that. So just something to be aware of. And sure enough, we nicked a line.
Of course.
Which I will say, the water people were real quick. You call them, doesn't matter, anytime, day or night, you call them, they will come out and get that thing turned off. They would rather you call them to come and do that.
Wow.
And I'm assuming it's the same way, like if you come across a down power line or something like that. Don't be messing with it. Call the utility company.
Yeah, that's a little bit more dangerous than a busted water pipe, for sure.
Well, it was a nicked water pipe. So they're saying if a tree's going to get 46 feet and taller, large tree, you need to plant it 45 feet from the power pole.
Well, and we don't want a lot of things around the power poles anyway, because if something were to happen, our guys have got to get there. And if they've got to do their job. So they've got to have access around those power poles. So when you go get your tree, find out what kind of tree it is and find out what its growth potential is over time. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Shrubs should be not near the power lines either.
Yeah, like I said, we've got to be able to access those safely with our large vehicles if we need to.
Yeah. Now, from time to time, the utilities, you'll see them going through and trimming trees that are up around power lines.
Absolutely.
That's a regular thing?
Yes, definitely. So if you are in the CVE service territory and you think that there's some trees that are potential hazards for the power lines, give us a call. And our guys go out and they trim those. We don't want you to do that yourself. Our guys know, and they'll get that done, because we've had fires started from trees, going up around the power lines, and the wind blows and makes the wrong connection, and
so that's just something to think about.
Absolutely. And most utilities are gonna do that. So even if you live in the city, you could call XL and let them know, hey, this is a potential hazard.
Sure. Would you rather have that branch, or would you rather have power?
Right.
That's the question you have to ask.
Right.
I noticed also there was an article about supply chain obstacles.
Yes.
People don't often think about all the different things that are affected by these supply chain issues.
So that's really a big thing at CVE right now is getting supplies. And so Wade Nelson, he's our one of our engineers that does the ordering and is in charge of the warehouse and inventory and all that stuff. And so he's been working very diligently with our vendors and our suppliers, making sure, hey, when are we going to get stuff? So I know that article said that transformers are 40 weeks out.
40 weeks?
40 weeks. I mean, that's almost a year.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a long time.
Yes, and poles, he said we haven't seen an increase in the price of power poles in years. But since the end of 2021, we've had 2 price increases on power poles. So, I mean, they're definitely thinking outside of the box. They're buying stuff off of eBay and Amazon, and they've even bought some supplies from some local electrical contractors and oil companies, just to make sure that we've got enough supplies for some of the new build outs that we're doing, and have enough reserve in case there were an emergency or something were to happen. But yeah, he's staying on top of that. And
wow.
So if you are planning an upgrade, or if you're planning on building a new house, please give us a call and let us know. That way we know what your needs are, and we can kind of give you an idea of when we might have that available. So
yeah,
they're also taking down idle lines that aren't being used anymore, and they're taking that stuff down and repurposing what they can. So they're thinking of all the different avenues and different ways that they can make sure that we have enough supplies for sure.
That's amazing. And again, electricity is one of those things you don't think about.
Right.
Because you walk into a room and you flip a switch, or you plug in your phone charger, and
voila,
it works.
That's right.
And but if you are planning to build or a warehouse or garage or something like that in CVE territory, as soon as you get ready to start working on that, probably let CVE know. Definitely. So they can make sure they've got enough materials ready for your...
Absolutely.
Because you'd hate to have the whole thing nearing just about ready to be completed, and then you get told, well, we'll have power in 3 months.
Right.
You don't want to hear that.
No, nobody wants to hear that. And we don't want to tell people that.
Yeah.
So I know those guys in the warehouse they're working hard, making sure that they keep track of things and get everything kind of lined out.
Yeah. Well, it's affecting everybody. We finally got the stuff that we ordered that came from Italy.
Oh, yeah.
It only took like 2 months. But it's finally here, that gray box up there.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah. So if our country station sounds funny, it's because it's speaking Italian.
Okay.
A lot more pasta, spaghetti. I better stop. I'm going to get in trouble with all that. One other thing I was going to ask you about that's in the newsletter: renewable energy rider added to rates.
Yes.
And I think you've talked about this before.
So I may have, I don't remember, but so back in March, CVE filed to add a rate rider onto our rates, and it's basically a rate that if somebody were to install renewable energy such as solar or wind or something like that, they would be put on this rate.
Okay.
And so that went into effect April 1st. And so if anybody's thinking about going solar, I get solar phone calls every single day. Mm-hmm. We really want our members to call us before you enter into any kind of a contract with a solar company. Call us, let us tell you the process that we have to go through, and then we can give you a copy of that new rate. They're on our website, and you can let your solar company know. Mm-hmm. That way they can they're going to have to recalculate your economics for you.
Okay.
Because it's different and it's changed.
So sometimes you get, we're not saying anybody in particular, but sometimes you look at it and you go, well, if you go solar, you're not going to pay anything to the utility company.
Right, and that's not the case.
That's not the case.
That is not necessarily the case, no.
Okay.
Because we have a meter charge, or it's called our service availability charge, and everybody has that, whether you have renewable energy or not. Mm-hmm. And that's just the service, the fee to have the service available to you, the poles, the wires, the transformers, all those things. And then there's a per kilowatt hour charge. And then in this new solar or renewable mm-hmm. rider, there's an additional KW or demand charge in addition to. So, they like to tell you can do away with your electric company. Well, you really can't, because you're still connected to our system mm-hmm. with your net meter. So you still need us, and
And you still have to have revenue to maintain the lines that are coming to the property.
Right.
Because they're there.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
They have to be maintained. Okay. So be aware of that. That started...
and it's not really a lengthy process at the co-op. I mean, there's an application and a fee and then an agreement that we have to go over. And then after that, we're just waiting on a permit release.
Okay. So yeah, if you're going to do solar or geothermal or wind or whatever it is that you're going to do that's classified as renewable,
right.
Contact, and you're in the CVE territory, of course.
Correct.
Contact CVE and say, okay, we're thinking about doing this. What do I need to be ready for?
Yep, absolutely.
And then you can help them out.
Yep.
That is that's interesting. They'll have to recalculate the savings.
Yep.
Make sure they've got everything taken into consideration.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So okay.
Yep.
Well, good deal. Was there anything else that we needed to cover on here? Mother's Day is
Mother's
Sunday?
Day, right? We will be closed on Memorial Day. I can't believe that's coming up.
That's May
already.
30th.
Yes. So.
Yep. It'll be closed there. And I think that's kind of everything.
That's everything on our newsletter.
Beyond the Wire.
If anybody wants to look at those past newsletters or current newsletters, they're all on our website at cvecoop.org.
Now, this is strictly a CVE publication, right?
Correct.
Now, there's the magazine.
The Enchantment.
And that goes to all the utility.
It goes to all electric cooperatives in the state of New Mexico, and then each co-op has the ability to specialize the middle 2 pages, and so those are co-op related.
Okay. When does that generally come out?
That usually comes out towards the end of the month, first of the month.
Okay.
So I don't know that I got mine yet, Gene.
I don't think I saw it come through either, so we have to look for it.
Absolutely. I would usually expect it before now.
But COVID.
I know. That's everybody's excuse now for everything, right?
Yeah, at some point we're going to have to stop accepting that as an excuse.
You're exactly right.
But not today, I guess. So, well, that's great. But is the Beyond the Wire, is it on, you said it's on the website too. So if you didn't get it, or...
I think we have the past 2 years on there, so you can go back and look. And
yeah, you may have looked at it, thrown it aside, and then we said something, you go, wait a minute, I want to read that.
Yep.
It's available online.
It is.
The website. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
And that's it for our show today, folks. Tomorrow we're going to have an abbreviated show. We've got a video program that we are involved with getting out there tomorrow, so we're just going to go from 7 to 8. Then I got to turn it over to Hugh Hewitt. And then Friday we have baseball. Saturday we have baseball and softball on Saturday. So Friday, Goddard is coming to town. And have you ever heard of Goddard? It's a school up there in Roswell.
Yeah.
And I laughed. And Coach Ortiz told me this. There were some kids, apparently they're Artesia kids, that dressed up to look kind of like baseball scouts. And I think there were 4 or 5 of them, and they went to the game, and I mean, they tried to be as authentic as possible. They all had the same kind of hat. They all had the same shorts, khaki shorts. They all had a polo shirt from the school that they were pretending to represent. They had clipboards, and one of them had what looked like a radar gun. And they were there taking notes and doing all that kind of stuff and kind of yucking up as scouts at the ball game. So that was a fun thing to see. But yeah, Goddard's coming to town. Best 2 out of 3. So the first game is at 5 o'clock on Friday. Game 2 is at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and then if there's a third game necessary, it would be right after the second game.
All right.
But you've heard of Goddard?
I have, yes. I've been there a few times.
Isn't it named after the
Robert H.
the rocket scientist? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Robert H. Goddard.
Yeah. Who else named Goddard would it be named after?
Don't know.
I'm picking on Raelynn here. All right, that's it, folks.